Hello and welcome to Management Groups in Azure. If your organization has multiple subscriptions, you're often going to have to find a way to more efficiently manage access to those subscriptions, policies, how to manage compliance for those subscriptions. So you're going to need to efficiently manage these subscriptions somehow. Azure Management Groups provide a level of scope above those subscriptions. So what you can do is organize your subscriptions into these containers, which are called management groups, and then apply any of your governance conditions to the management groups. All subscriptions within a management group are going to automatically inherit the conditions that you apply to that management group. What this does is provide you with what's essentially an enterprise-grade management capability at a larger scale, regardless of what type of subscriptions and how many you have. All subscriptions within a single management group, however, must trust the same Azure AD tenant. So keep that in mind. Now let's take an example here to highlight how management groups help here. Let's say, for example, you have a situation where you want to limit the regions that are available for VM deployment. Okay. So what you can do is you can apply policies to a management group that limits the regions available for VM creation. That policy that you apply at the management group level then gets applied to all management groups, subscriptions, and resources within that management group. What this does is ensure that VMs can only be created in the regions that you specify. It makes it a lot easier than creating multiple policies for multiple management groups, multiple subscriptions, and multiple resources. You set it at one level and it filters down. Now, what management groups do is allow you to build a more flexible management structure to organize your resources into a hierarchy for that unified policy and access management. The image on your screen shows an example of what you can do to create a hierarchy for governance using management groups. Now, another use case for management groups would be a scenario where you want to provide user access to multiple subscriptions. Maybe you have like a super admin in your organization and you want them to get access to multiple subscriptions. By moving those multiple subscriptions under a top level or an upper level management group, you can then create one RBAC assignment on that management group, which will then inherit that access to all of the subsequent subscriptions that sit below it. This allows you to use one assignment on the management group to allow users the access they need to everything they need, instead of scripting RBAC over a ton of different subscriptions. Now, there are some key things to think about or to remember, I should say, when discussing management groups. For example, there is a maximum of 10,000 management groups that can be supported within a single directory. I should also mention that a management group tree can support up to 6 levels of depth. Now, those 6 levels don't include the root level or the subscription level. So you can't have like 19 levels of a management group tree. You're limited to 6. And each management group and subscription can only support one parent, although each management group can have many children. And then lastly, all subscriptions and management groups are within a single hierarchy within each directory. So when you sit the exam, it's important to remember that Azure Management Groups provide you with a way to more efficiently manage, access, policies, and compliance for multiple subscriptions, because those management groups provide a level of scope that sits above those subscriptions. You organize subscriptions into management groups and then apply your governance conditions to those management groups. And because all subscriptions within each management group automatically inherit those conditions applied at the management group level, management groups give you that enterprise grade management at a larger scale, regardless of the subscriptions you have. It's also important to note that all subscriptions within a single management group must trust the same Azure AD tenant, and be sure that you review that hierarchy image that I showed you a few minutes ago so you can familiarize yourself with the management hierarchy within an Azure subscription and within an Azure management group.